Hi, Sita. Are you well?
I'm good, thanks. I'm very good. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That's awesome. Tell us where you're from.
I am currentently in Sedgefield, in the Garden Route in South Africa, but I'm actually a nomad. I live everywhere, and I've been kind of grounded in South Africa for the past 3 years. Prior to that, I was living in India, and I'm going back in February, and I'm very excited.
Oh yeah, I think you cannot wait.
I cannot wait. I'm not going for long term as I was before. I'm going to go for 4 months and see, because things have changed, but my heart is definitely there, and I take small tours. So I've got a tour on in February, so that's a good motivation to get out there.
All right. So Sita, we know you as the Shawl Queen here in South Africa with your podcast, Shawl Unplugged.
That's me.
So you are, I don't know, how many shawls have you knitted so far?
Hundreds, I guess. I don't count, I'm not really a counter of, I actually watched a podcast today where somebody said there were 50,000 stitches in the jersey. And I thought, how the hell do you know that, So I don't know how many shawls, but lots of shawls. I'm kind of, I'm a textile designer. So basically, I'm really into creating fabric. That's what I love about shawls, really, is creating a textile that has drape that you can manipulate with the gauge and with lace and play around with it. So when I discovered Stephen West, which I think was in about 2013, I was like totally over the moon, to see that there was actually somebody who just did things in a totally different way. So I think this is probably about my ninth MKAL with Stephen, but I've knitted many of his other shawls, and many of the shawls I've knitted many times because I sell my work. So, I get orders for them, and I wear the shawl and I own it for a week, and then it's gone. So I don't have my twists and turns to show you today.
It's sold.
Because the day I blocked it and put it on Instagram, I sold it. And
wow.
I wasn't terribly sad because I could knit another one anytime. But quite frankly, it's not my favorite shawl of Stephen's. It's definitely not my favorite one that he's done. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I enjoy every single MKAL. And I think what I enjoy the most is the drama that it invokes in all the knitters, It's like a soapy, Especially this year, there's been a lot of public coverage. Yes, and for me it's been like my soapy that I watch. What's the next story with?
And you're part of it.
With the twists and turns. So because I was also following Irina from Fiber Chats.
Yes.
I don't know if any of you watched her series. It was really, really great.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think a lot of new knitters this year, a lot of people for the first time doing an MKAL with Stephen West. So it was just very interesting from that point of view.
Yeah, definitely. So I know you don't have your shawl here with you, but you're going to send me some pics and I'll put it on the screen. So even though you don't have the shawl with you, talk to us about the yarn that you used.
Fine. I actually just sent you one photograph on WhatsApp.
Oh great. Wonderful.
So, so you have at least one. I have more, but I think it's fine. So I used, I do dye yarn from time to time. At the moment, I've been doing quite a lot of that. So I used a combination of my own yarns and this absolutely magic purple turtle from Big Fox, which I love this combination. And I basically based the whole shawl really around this color, although I didn't actually use this terribly much. I used this mainly in the cables. which was a perfect place for it. You know, for me, in my mind, it was a perfect place. And then therefore I didn't embellish the cables because this was already very busy.
Yes.
So that was my, in fact, that wasn't my main color. This was, I can't even remember what was what, but this is, it's probably going to blow out because it's quite luminous. It's like, I call it tangerine. This is one that I dyed. So I combined that with that. And then I used just a plain natural undyed. So the section one was these two, and then I brought this in. Sorry, this was the pop. This was the pop. Yes. But in section 2, instead of using this for the stripy section, I brought in another pink that I had dyed.
Color.
So you know, it was just really bright, and then it had this natural just to sort of ground it.
I remember the photos that you shared on the group was just so beautiful. I'll grab some of those photos from the group as well that you shared with us. I loved when you brought in that pink. It is just beautiful.
You know, for me, really, you know, it's knitting. I try always to sort of try to get to the essence of what keeps me going in my knitting, you know, and it's definitely color. It's definitely color. If I've got colors that I love and there's color changes, I fly through my knitting, you know. I mean, my poor daughter, you know, all she wants from me is a gray cardigan. You know? I said, one day, you'll get one day, but not in a hurry. So, you know, I never really knit one plain color, but maybe one day I will. So I'm very motivated by color. And I'm very free with colors. I kind of don't think about colors. They just come to me, basically, you know. I have studied color theory during textile design. So, I mean, I do have a sort of a theoretical background.
Yes.
But I actually consider myself not to be a thinker. I don't think too hard about things. You know, I go with my gut. And if I like a color, it doesn't matter what color's next to it, I'm going to use it, you know. And I mean, I often in the past have said to my daughter, because she's my only one, I normally bounce my things over, what do you think about this outfit I'm wearing, you know, about the colors? And she always says to me, Mom, you can get away with it, but I don't think anybody else can, you know. So,
but I think it's
I manage.
You just embrace it, you know.
I do. And if I'm into knitting a shawl or something and I want another color, I just take it and put it in, you know. I normally have a lot of colors around me. So I would often just at a point, it's not something I even think of. I just happen to look at it and it's like, okay, that one's coming in now, you know, and then off I go with that. So so I enjoy that. I can do that a lot with Stephen's shawls. And I enjoyed every part of the knitting of this one, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I think the first section, and I like the fact that the first section was definitely going to be the biggest section.
Yes,
you know?
Definitely.
Once I realized that, it was like, okay, from here on, it can just get like less knitting. You know?
Sita, I want to ask you, is there, you having now done the mystery knit along for 9 years now already, is there a specific reason? Can you put your finger on the reason of why you think you didn't particularly loved this shawl this year? Is it, did he do any modular knitting previously, or is it modular knitting, or what do you think is the reason of your feelings regarding this shawl, even though you love the process?
You know, I'm not really mad about the shape of it. I find it extremely long and not deep enough.
Okay.
I really like a big semicircular shawl, you know, like the slip extravaganza is my absolute all-time favorite as far as shape goes. And I also like what was last year's one called Shawlography. That was also good shape.
Yes.
I think this year my feeling is that the design was a bit sort of haphazard, you know. I would have liked to see much more cabling. You know, those little pieces of cables at the bottom, it was like, oh, and now what? You know, like I love those cables, but I would have loved to see like big chunks of that, you know.
Right.
So you know, so I feel, look, it's Stephen, he's the designer. He's,
Yeah.
you know, it's his design and he does what he wants with it. So I enjoyed the process of knitting it. I really, really did. And I love the mystery effect. You know, I'm not a kind of person that has to know what's going to happen. I'm with now and I'm doing it. I mean, every time the video came, I would definitely go to the end to see where I'm going with it, but that's fine. And when those long pieces came along, well, I quite enjoyed making them, and they were actually really beautiful, those twisted cables, you know. And I find I get a lot of inspiration of techniques and things that I can use in other shawls, because I also teach online a bit of shawl design, so I incorporate all these different things. And I love the process, and I think, you know, definitely your group as well was very, very helpful to a lot of people, and I love popping in and seeing the fantastic support that everybody was getting. And I do agree with Helene that, you know, sometimes I could see people, if they weren't in a group, they would have just dropped out, and it was good to have that support. So that's wonderful, you know, that we can actually connect through WhatsApp or Zoom or whatever, and we can assist each other and egg each other on. So it's been a great process, and I've really enjoyed also, you know, seeing other South African knitters, because before I didn't really know. I have one friend, and we've knitted a few of the MKALs together, and I didn't really know any other of the South African knitters. I suppose maybe once I started my podcast, then I did get to know. But I just feel I've met a lot of my fellow knitters, and it would be really nice if we can somehow one of these days meet in person somewhere on the planet, you know.
That would be awesome. Imagine MKAL drops and we all are South Africans having a retreat somewhere, starting the progress together. Sorry, Claudia.
I know.
Claudia is from Germany, so she's might be feeling left out now. And also Yvette and Sylvia from Australia. But I mean, that's just awesome. Yes. So yeah, that would be
so the beginning of this one, it was very nice. I did actually go to Lenka, my friend in Robertson, especially to cast on. So I went for 5 days, and we had a great time. You know, we popped a bottle of champagne, and we knitted away, and, you know, changed our colors and did different things. And it's so lovely, you know, to have friends who actually who are on the same page as you with knitting, especially with the Stephen West knitting.
Oh, for sure. No, but Sita, it was lovely having you form part of the group, and also having your expertise and knowledge and support and everything on the group. Thank you for joining.
Thank you very much, Jalene. Thank you. It's been really, really lovely. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Sita.
Lovely to be here. Thanks.